It's coffee time. It's my work coffee. That's why it's in this cup. So a lot of you demanded to know how the boxed curry thing turned out. It turned out great. We used a brand called Golden Curry, and that's the one that was recommended to me the most. So used the medium hot or medium spicy version of that, and it was not spicy at all, but the flavor was there, so we were like, awesome, because it was like the easiest thing in the world. You just like saute everything up, put water in there, let it simmer for a while, and then add in the like curry cubes and let that melt in, and then it's just done. So we were like, yay, super, super easy, and it was actually tasty. There's all sorts of weird stuff in there that I can't pronounce, and that makes me a little uncomfortable, but aside from that, super okay with it. That was the other thing, was I mentioned that I don't like to eat boxed stuff, because a lot of times when you look at the ingredients list, it's like, I don't know what's in here. And the retort was that I had used boxed brownies. I will say, when you look at the ingredients list for boxed brownies or boxed cakes, assuming that you choose the right one, you know what all that stuff is. It's like just flour and sugar and chocolate in there. You know, it's like pretty simple stuff. So that doesn't make me uncomfortable. It's when there's a box and I'm like, I don't know how to even pronounce these words. I don't know what they are, and I definitely can't pronounce them. So that's when I start to feel like, probably shouldn't be putting this in my body, but I'm really curious to know whether or not this is delicious. Next time, assuming we do it again, I would want to get whatever the like spicy version is, because again, it had like no heat to it really. There was like a little bit of after effect hotness. So next time, I want it to be spicy, because both Sam and I really like spicy food, and we didn't really get a spice out of it. But again, the taste was good. So that's the update on the curry situation. Tonight, I'm going to be trying to make chicken noodle soup, because last night, when I was making the curry thing, it's kind of like choose a meat of whatever choice, whichever meat you want, put some onions in there, and then any veggies you'd like. So we put onions and celery. I was gonna put carrots in there because Sam really likes cooked carrots, but he was like, nah, I don't want carrots in there. I was like, okay, that makes my life easier. Oh, I put corn in there too. But when it was just simmering before I put the curry in, and I lifted it up, and it was just like the meat and the celery and the onions like just boiling in the water. When I lifted up the lid and smelled it, I was like, oh my god, that reminds me so much of chicken noodle soup, and now that's all I've been thinking about today. So I've decided I'm gonna make chicken noodle soup tonight. Like a super easy chicken noodle soup, but I'm excited for it. And it'll make it nice because I can put everything in the pot before we do mangapad, and then just let it simmer and let all those flavors like do this. And then once mangapad is over, then just throw the noodles in. And once the noodles are cooked, then we can eat, you know. I like meals like that, especially on Tuesdays when, you know, don't really need to worry about it. Sam has said a million times, he's like, you don't need to worry about dinner. You can ask me to make dinner. But I'm always just like, you don't cook stuff, honey. Like, you don't... Like, there have been a couple of times where he's taken the lead and it's gone perfectly fine. But, I don't know. I figure, like, if I have the time, if I'm able to do it, I really enjoy cooking, so I might as well do the cooking in the house for the most part. As long as he's willing to, like, clean up, then I don't care. It's fine. It's whatever. And if I can't get to it and I, you know, didn't sack up and just ask him to take over for me, then we get takeout. And we suffer the price of that as well. You know, it all comes full circle. It all works out. But, yeah, yesterday, guys, wow. Yesterday, I went on a weird Ink Master binge, and it was so strange. Crender and I used to watch a lot of, like, bad shows at the same time, and then we'd, like, Skype at each other about it, be like, oh my god, this guy. And then be like, oh my god, this other guy. So, Ink Masters is on Netflix. And I've been watching, I had watched the first couple of episodes a long time ago, And then I saw, oh, I told you guys about this, and then I saw Noelle like talking about it, and I was like, oh, I need to watch that show again. So I watched the rest of the rest of the first season last night, except the finale. I haven't seen the finale, so I'm saving it. That's not what happened. It was just like the episode before the finale wound up being the episode right when I needed to go to bed, and I was like, I'm out. I wanted to work on some stuff last night, but I succumbed to like crazy cat lady syndrome. I was snugged up like this. I was just in my chair with a blanket, and recently Sherlock has wanted to lay on my lap a lot, which has been so like oddly comforting, because you guys know he's never really been like a lap cat at all. But recently, like every other night, every 3 nights, something like that, he'll want to like lay on me. And he won't want to move for a really long time. Like, he's in it for the long haul. So last night, he jumped up and laid on me when I was watching an episode while I was eating. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, Sherlock's on my lap. He would not. He was there. Like, it was the end. Normally, if the cat's, like, kind of wishy-washy, if you move a little bit, they're like, nope, I'm out. You know? You, like, start to adjust, and they're like, all right, see ya. This got to be too much work. But man, Sherlock didn't care what I did. I like completely adjusted my body, and he just kind of like sat up, waited for me to be done, and then found a nice little spot for himself and fell back to sleep. It was that way for like, guys, like 3 hours. And eventually my legs hurt so bad. I was like, Sam, I don't know what to do. Sherlock, he's just like so precious, but I need to like get up and do stuff, and I don't know what to do. And he was like, you can't move. Sherlock's there. You can't move or ruin his night. I was like, no! So I was stuck to my chair watching TV, which I was honestly perfectly okay with. It was a very, very nice evening, so yeah. And today we did co-optional, just got done with co-optional. And that was nice. That one longer than I expected it to. It's funny because sometimes TV is very strict about when we stop. And other times I'm like, all right, cool, so we're wrapping up now, right? And he's like, no, nope, let's talk about more stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's talk about more stuff. But I had already mentally like prepared to like do other stuff, right? So then my mind is kind of split. I know that I shouldn't do that. I prepare myself. Like, all right, so once this is over, I'm gonna finish writing this thing, or I'm gonna finish editing this thing, or I need to export this guy, and like, you know. So then, if it goes over too long, I start to get really antsy, because I'm like, oh man, I need to get all this stuff that, even though I have plenty of time, I'm like, oh man, I got all this stuff that I need to get done, like, when are we gonna stop? Oh my gosh. My carefully laid plans, just ashes before me. But, I'm really happy because we've been putting out Hot to Full Boyfriend like every day. There was one day that we skipped, but I don't want to skip any days after this. I want to just get like every ending, have Hot to Full Boyfriend come out constantly. It's my dream. It's just so fun. I love it so much. It's good times. It's good times for me. But yeah, tonight we're doing Pandora Hearts on MangaPod. I'm almost done reading that. I need to run to the grocery store and get chicken. And other than that, I'm like good to go for the rest of the night. Rock, 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 rock. So that'll be nice. It'll be another good evening. I'll be editing Welcome to the Fandom after MangaPod. God, I can't like, I'm like trying to pick, like cherry pick words out of the sky, and they're just like they're not shoving their way into my brain. Anywho, I'm gonna go, but I hope you guys have had an amazing day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.